everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and I'm here with Chris, and instead of arguing with each other and telling you about how a car is bad, we just came to the consensus that this car can't be argued about. It's straight up, objectively, factually good. So we're gonna head out for a little drive, talk about this car, a little dual review, because it's such a cool car and there's so much going on that it takes two to tango with this Tango Red metallic paint. We're looking around the car here. This is a 591 horse, 4-liter twin turbo V8 engine powering this beautiful A6 based wagon to give you the RS6. It's got the black optic package, so you've got blacked out everything and these giant 22-inch wheels, which I think look really darn good.
They look awesome.
I'm not generally a huge fan of big wheels in general, but I like how they're not chrome. I kind of like this brushed look, but they're not black either.
Right. Yeah, I think that the sort of like the silver and gray together, and also just the design of the wheels too, like it all just works.
Yeah.
In a big size.
It looks really nice.
Doesn't affect the ride too badly either.
No, it's surprisingly good ride, as we'll see here when we take it out on the road.
Yeah.
Tires are still in good shape even after the Topher whipped this around track for a bit. Here you can see you got the blacked out Audi badge, and the RS6 badge, everything. I'm not a huge fan of the blacked out badges. I could see a good amount of black around there looking good, but I think the Audi badge should stand out and be its proper colors. You got the blacked out roof racks, because at the end of the day, this is a wagon, and got to be practical.
Yes.
And on that practicality, you pop open the hatch. We've already done wagon stuff this week and put a whole bunch of things in here. You've got a little bit of underfloor storage, no spare tire, unfortunately. It comes with these little, whatchamacallit,
carabiners.
Yeah, that you can, they're hooks. Like hooks to put into this channel lock system. You can take this out and then, very cool. And then actually install them in the proper spot in here and move them around so you can tie things down when you're
I want to try this.
Slogging around.
Is how you put the seats down. Is it power or is it a pull?
It's just a pull. It's just like a release mechanism, and then very, very easy. This is actually really classy.
Wagon stuff.
Yeah, I mean this car is made to be practical. Performance practicality.
Yeah. You
can see all that room. This thing would pop out right here. And then fold down these seats. Oh, there's a second bar. Why is there a second bar?
What do you mean?
This. It's like a privacy screen.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, you take that out too, and then obviously you could lay a whole bunch of stuff down there.
Here it goes.
Hey.
There we go. Yeah. This is very practical.
Practical and powerful and beautiful all in one. There aren't too many cars.
Your passengers would probably hate you after like a short amount of time because you'd be launching it everywhere and
that is true. Sick. Yeah, you're doing 180 down the Autobahn and they're getting sick, but you don't care because you're enjoying yourself. This
is like a one-person car, but it looks cool because it could be a 5-person car.
Right. It's like a one-person car and all their dead bodies that they want to bring along with them.
Right.
That's why you have that little privacy screen, and you have the little privacy screens on the side windows that you can pull up.
Yeah.
So that the police can't see your dead bodies.
Have you noticed that the door handles aren't actually real?
They're just pulls. It's all just to activate an electronic mechanism.
Yeah.
Taking a look back here, we do have the Bang & Olufsen sound system. We'll be doing a separate review on that. Feel free to check it out. Link will be in the description. You can see these cool sport seats, all one piece, and this beautiful red cross stitching, the RS logo embedded in there. Looks really good.
I love the center of the seats.
Yeah. Oh, so that came all the way down. Meant to do this. A little flip down armrest with some storage.
Cup holders.
Cup holders. Yes, these German cars are including cup holders these days. And
quite a few as well.
Yeah, they're kind of getting on board with that.
Yeah, or well, 3 actually.
As Chris mentioned, you sort of just pull this and electronically the door pops open, and because this is a proper luxury vehicle, you have soft closed doors. So I can just go like that and it pulls itself closed. The true test of any luxury vehicle. That thing roars to life.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
And then becomes remarkably quiet right afterward. First things first, turning down our air conditioning here, you can see this is an entirely touchscreen display, very high resolution as well, and very responsive. So if I want to turn down the fan, I can click that, turn it off auto, and then go just drag it down. Do that Chris's side as well, or I could just sync him that turns everything down.
Thank you for syncing me.
You're welcome. You are now synchronized. The one minor complaint I did have about this interior is all of this shiny material. It's not complete, perfect chrome, but it's brushed. When I was driving and the sun was about right there, I did have a lot of light coming back up at me in my eyes. I actually ended up taking my hat and just setting it over this whole area.
Yeah, and so much piano black.
So much.
So much.
Especially down here, you're going to have to
already
work hard to
right there.
keep that clean. And then when you're driving at night, this screen does get pretty bright, and you can press this button, but that actually turns that display off.
Oh.
I don't know of a way to turn this display off.
You probably can't because you've got controls there.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe there is a way to do it, and I'm sure there is a way to maybe
Is there
dim
not
it.
a brightness thing over there, the dimmer? Usually there's stuff like that because you've got to be able to dim the cluster too.
Doesn't seem like it. You've got your light controls, but it might be one of the things where it's in the screen. So you'd actually have to go to like home, settings, display and brightness, cockpit dimming,
Darker.
something like that. Yeah, which we're not going to be able to see right now.
Right. Yeah.
And away we go. All sorts of tech in this car, which is not unique to the RS6, including that screen, but also including the virtual cockpit, which has a ton of functionality, including a huge map screen that you can bring up here. Some people like seeing that.
That is the coolest part about new Audis and Porsches.
Yeah.
You can just make the cluster a big map.
This is an entirely daily drivers type car when you're not in some sort of performance mode. This thing really settles down and rides, like you mentioned earlier, remarkably well on the 22s.
Yeah, usually when you drive cars on big wheels like that, it's very unsettling, but this car is super comfortable.
Yeah, which hopefully you wouldn't let that lull you into a false sense of security and you'd bound over some sort of pothole and destroy your few $1,000 wheel, but I mean, that's pocket change for someone who's buying an RS6. 591 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque made it to this 8-speed auto, and along with its mild hybrid system, it gets decent fuel economy for what it is. We're getting mid-20s cruising on the highway, even though its EPA is only 22. But this thing's made to cruise the Autobahn, whether you're doing 80 miles per hour or 180 miles per hour. It's going to stay cool, it's going to ride well, and it's going to have a lot of bandwidth. And we really see that just in nice, easy driving like this, and then when we get on it, we'll see that as well. Some people might be a bit turned off by how quiet this car is. Even at Watt, when you're inside, it's so isolated that it's hard to hear this engine go to work. It's not like the AMG cars that really get rowdy.
It's quiet front and back, in and out. Like, it's quiet all around. Even when you've got your when you've got it in dynamic mode, you're standing behind it. It has a soft limiter when you're parked, so you can only really rev it to like 3,000 or 4,000 RPM anyways. So you can't really hear it there.
As we're driving along, we can press this RS button. We have it set up. Now this is pretty normal driving, but just with the louder exhaust, and then you press it one more time, and we've got full beans. Is Tesla going to take the, no, he is not.
Holds the gear.
It does hold very well.
How's the transmission tuning in auto?
It's quite good. It will end up upshifting for us in a minute, but if we were to stay on it.
What tires are on this?
These are Pirelli P0s.
A lot of tire squeal there.
I've noticed that Michelins are very quiet. Michelins, like the Pilot Sports, Sport Piresas, Super Sports, everything, they're very quiet. They will not give you much warning until you're past the limit.
Yeah.
But Pirellis scream and really tell you when you're getting close.
Oh, a little bit of a DSG fart there.
Yep. Yeah, it's got the little bits of DSG farts. But, I mean, we're in the aggressive suspension mode. Can you believe how it's taking these bumps?
It's soft.
It's serene in here.
It's great. Yeah. It's my favorite part about this thing so far. Yeah, angry noises.
Angry German. Obviously that all-wheel drive putting itself to work. Also a significant amount of body articulation, if you will. So body roll, front, back, side to side.
Oh yeah.
The Topher said once you get used to that on track, it actually does settle itself down, and the air suspension really sets in. And you don't really notice it, and I believe him, because body roll in and of itself is not a bad thing. We don't really like it, because if there's too much body roll, it can cause an inertia effect to sort of continue your momentum off to the outside tires. But as long as all 4 tires are on the ground, doesn't really matter if your body's like this or like this once it settles in.
Right, exactly.
I really like Audi's steering. It's so light, even when you're in aggressive mode like this. Some people don't care for light steering. They want E90 BMW styles of heft.
Oh, God.
But I like a light steering, and as long as it's accurate and communicative, this is nice. I can just 2-finger this thing.
That is literally the heaviest steering ever.
All right.
Hello,
You'll see coming around this roundabout, you know the car's got a lot more to it, because there are cars that can do much higher G's around here, but the tires just scream bloody murder.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. It's like we've got winters on here. And then you press the RS button one more time to go back into normal mode. You use the stock to set your cruise control at 70. And then this thing settles right down. You take it out of manual mode.
And now it's just an A6.
Exactly. Yeah, an A6 that if anyone tries to pass you and you don't want them to pass, around you go.
Right, exactly. So what about competitors? E63S, Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo, Turbo S.
Yeah, we had a lot of people asking us about the competition in this car. The Panamera, I think, is a pretty easy pass for most people. That car, despite it being a decent car, it's kind of one of the sleepiest Porsches.
Right.
People would kind of rather go either full sport car, get the 911 or a Taycan or something like that, or go the other direction and just get a Cayenne.
Okay.
The Panamera does fit kind of a weird, it's the one Porsche that doesn't really drive like a Porsche should. But the E63S, that's a whole other beast. And after spending time with this car this week, I would say the E63S is more for someone who wants sports car first, practical car second, daily driver second. This is more for someone who wants daily driver first, sports car second.
All right.
This is the athlete who is retired, but maybe just into retirement, so still very, very capable. Could easily put the gloves back on and go out and kick some serious hind. But the E63 is the still taking steroids athlete.
Sure.
Very much in it.
It is the AMG way.
Right, yes. I would absolutely, if I had the means and we're in this sort of market, this would be a wonderful daily driver.
I think that I kind of expected this car to be more brutal.
Yes, I did as well.
Just from seeing the photos and videos and everything that have been put out on the internet since this car has been a thing here in North America, I definitely expected it to be a lot crazier.
Yes.
And it just isn't.
The Audi RS6 way is just, it's not to be brutal. And it's not to necessarily create a bonding experience with your car as a driver.
Mm-hmm.
I think they aim to do a little bit more as an owner and as a lifestyle sort of car. You're buying this because you want the Audi RS lifestyle, not simply a car to bond with just from behind the steering wheel. And I think in that way it does well. You've got the good sound system, you've got the great looks, the good practicality, and the easy daily drivability. It might not set your hair on fire the way a BMW M car might, or an AMG, but a little bit in the way that some Porsches are. It's not necessarily all about the power, it's more about the entire experience.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people go to Audi for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Absolutely a beautiful car. We've turned so many heads with this thing. So many people like seeing it around. And it does really carry a presence. And the cool thing is it's going to be so rare that it's going to carry a presence for a long, long time.
Oh yeah. And value.
Yeah, you're right. You could, if you had the means, you could buy this and really probably not lose much in depreciation over some time. So thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the RS6, we've got our sound system test, and I don't know if I'm going to do a little bit of a mini fuel economy test. I probably won't, as long as I have enough other content to use, but definitely a sweet ride. Thank you to Audi for letting us spend some time in it, and we'll see you on the next one. We're Charlie and Chris from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.